Welcome to Oban, on the west coast of Scotland. It's January, and at slightly more than 56 degrees north, we're actually at a greater latitude than Moscow. So why isn't it cold and snowy? The answer lies in both the sky, where the winds blow warmer air north from the equator, and in the ocean, more specifically in an ocean current called the North Atlantic Current. The North Atlantic Current is a huge river of warm water that originates in the Caribbean, where it's called the Gulf Stream. It then flows northeast across the Atlantic towards Europe, transporting with it huge quantities of heat. Somewhere west of the UK, it splits in two. One part flows south near the Canaries, then crosses the Atlantic just north of the equator and returns to the Caribbean. The other part flows north towards the Arctic. So, what causes the North Atlantic Current? Two major effects lead to the North Atlantic Current. Firstly, southwesterly trade winds blowing across the Northern Atlantic, and secondly, the fact that cold water is heavier than warm water. This means that water at the surface of the ocean that is cooled in the Arctic sinks deep into the ocean and flows south. This process draws more warm, light water at the surface north to replace it in the form of the northern part of the North Atlantic Current. And it's not just here in Scotland that the North Atlantic Current has a large effect on the temperature and conditions present. Longyearbyen is a town in Svalbard, Arctic Norway. In the part of the Arctic that is north of the Atlantic, where Svalbard is situated, there is an inflow of warmer water from the North Atlantic Current. Along with prevailing weather patterns that bring warmer air north, this increases the air temperature, resulting in largely snow-free summers. The warmer water also results in there being less sea ice in this part of the Arctic than elsewhere at a similar latitude. It's hard to say exactly what effect climate change will have on the North Atlantic Current, but any change to it has the potential to have huge ramifications for life in Northern Europe.